bunch of naval officers and we're on a sub-dub thing. And
We're ready when you are.
we're ready. Understanding. So, good evening. This is Keystone Heights Planning and Zoning Board. I am John Ziza, the chair, and I call this meeting to order. Will Mr. Wright please lead us in the invocation?
All right, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We thank you for the dedication and the faithful service of our current planning and zoning members, and we warmly welcome our new member. May they feel supported and encouraged as they take part in this important work. Grant this body wisdom and discernment in every decision. Guide their decisions so they reflect fairness, clarity, and care for all those who call our city home. We also lift up our country and state, our county and state leaders. Grant them wisdom, integrity, and a spirit of cooperation as they serve our people. May their efforts contribute to the well-being, safety, and prosperity of all our communities. Bless this meeting, Lord, and the work set before us. May it be done with purpose and goodwill for the benefit of all. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's face the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball. Wendy, it's your turn. I tried to catch you. I believe you were swearing in.
No, it's going to Mr.
Very well.
Ludwig. I'll take pictures.
If Ms. Vanza will please join me at the podium. Planning and Zoning Board members, first of all, it's an honor to be with you guys here this evening. I have the opportunity to get to swear in your newest member. City Council unanimously approved Ms. Vanzo I guess it's been a couple weeks now, earlier this month. So it is an honor the date is throwing me off because it says January the 22nd. That's where I was like, wait a minute. But it is an honor to have you with us, and thank you for taking the time and making the commitment to be a part of the team. Yes, that's what I was going to ask. Would you prefer to be the one who holds the Bible instead of me?
Your children are more than welcome.
Yes. So if you will place your hand on the Bible and repeat after me, I don't know if I have to be closer to say this.
Yeah.
I, Carolyn Vanzo,
I, Carolyn Vanzo,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida,
the Constitution of the United States and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified,
to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
that I am qualified
to hold office under the Constitution of the
to
state,
hold office under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of Planning and Zoning Board member,
perform the duties of a planning and zoning member,
on which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Ms. Vanzo.
Thank
Very
you.
proud of you. You guys can we get a photo of them in the front of the room?
So let me get you guys up here. You want to get up here too?
Bye.
Oh, okay. Roll out of the way.
Yeah, we're way out of the way, babe. This is not our time.
Very nice.
Perfect. Thank you. Congratulations, you guys.
I'll do roll this out.
I was going to say, either Mr. Wright or Miss Wendy, can you please pick up roll call on behalf of the city?
I'm going to call roll. Steve Hart, he's not here. Dr. Geraldine Robbins,
Here.
Dr. John Zeiser,
Present.
Miss Carolyn Vanzo,
Present.
Miss Carrie Mullins.
Here.
Thank you. You have quorum.
Thank you. I was going to say, I believe we have a quorum. We're going to move on to the consent. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. This is the part where we usually have someone that says we need to do something with our minutes. So we're gonna do something with our minutes. Does anybody have a question about our minutes before I entertain a motion?
I actually do. Isn't that a surprise?
Yeah.
As I remember, as I remember, the January 30th deadline was for comments or suggestions for the engagement plan, not for the comprehensive plan as it is written. And the way I'm reading the minutes, it appears as if the January 30th deadline was for the comprehensive plan proper, and that's not my understanding. It's very much not my hope, because we have time ahead of us that we'll be working on the comprehensive plan, and we're post January 30th. So that's my
It is my
comment.
understanding that our comp plan needs to be submitted by May because the state has to do their thing in July. And it gives
Okay.
them June to do whatever they do with it.
Right, and January 30th is 9 days ago, or 10 days ago.
Oh, January, so you said
Yeah.
January, my brain
Yeah.
said June.
Yes, exactly, so, that's my comment.
So what are we proposing with the minutes?
Well, I was hoping that we could, maybe mention this to, Ms. Fleet, who's not here, so that what I'd like is, for us to do what we did last time, which is just.
You wanna amend the minutes?
Yeah, in real time, just amend the minutes.
Amend minutes to reflect.
We can amend the minutes and bring them back in front of you at the next
Thank
meeting.
you.
That's what I want to say. I want to say, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended, and then
Right.
that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's what we're going to do. Anybody else? Any other comments on the minutes? No? Okay. So the chair is going to go ahead and accept a motion to accept the January minutes as amended.
I so move.
Need a second?
Second.
All approved? There you go, we got a 4-0 vote. We're gonna open it up to public comments. We have a blistering crowd, every chair is full, and I'm certain there are stacks and reams of papers filled out with a bunch of angry individuals.
No,
This time we have no comment, no public comments.
No public comments at this time, moving on. I'm sorry, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have to skip 8 and 9 as per plan.
So
Sir?
Ms. Fleet will be here in about 30 minutes.
30?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip 8 and 9 as planned.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna move on to 10 and 11. So, a brief discussion, it was revealed to us earlier this year, and I fired off a bunch of emails to the city. They were not angry. The way my brain works is as I come across information, I spit a decision out. And I settled on one on the 21st. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it all so everyone is up to date. I was just gonna go straight to number 6. Number 1, on the Charter Foundation, Section 35 of the City Charter, it establishes planning and zoning, its board, its membership, and requires that zoning and land use regulatory matters be referred to the board for consideration. Number 2, the code designation of statutory planning role that falls within the City Code, Section 15-22. It builds on the charter by consolidating the Historic Planning Commission and Zoning Commission into a single Planning and Zoning Board, and critically, by designating that board as both the city's local planning agency and the Land Development Regulation Commission, pursuant to the Local Government Comprehensive Plan and Land Development Regulation Act, Florida State, Chapter 163. Number 3, yes, I know I'm skipping ahead for those reading on my shoulder. Procedural duplication and resulting confusion. This confusion appears to arise because Chapter 17 of the Code contains procedural sections written under the standalone label Local Planning Agency, located separately from the planning and zoning provisions. Read in isolation, those sections give the impression that the LPA is a distinct body with a separate membership, a separate meeting, and separate set of rules. When read together with Section 15-22 Bravo, however, Those Chapter 17 provisions are describing the Planning and Zoning Board acting as the LPA capacity in practice, in law, and therefore one body. We do have a thing, number 4. This is very important because we have one member in our audience right now. Ex officio participation. The code further provides for ex officio non-voting participation. These consist of the mayor, the city manager, administrator, and/or their designee, which does not count towards a quorum. This reinforces that the voting membership of the planning body remains the 5 appointed planning and zoning members, regardless of whether the board is acting in zoning, LDR, or LPA role. Why this matters. Leaving the code structured as it is creates an ongoing risk of misinterpretation that 2 planning bodies exist, confusion about quorum and membership, procedural uncertainty for staff, board, and public, repeating relitigation of the same structural question. None of this reflects how the current city operates. Proposed solution. From my review, and this is my review, this is not a charter issue. The charter establishes the P&Z board. The code already designates the board as the land planning agency, and that appears to be needed, what appears to be needed is a code consolidation and clarification, not a charter review committee action. A clean solution would be retain sections 15-22B as designated as the designation clause, consolidate or reorganize Chapter 17 LPA sections under Planning and Zoning heading, consistently refer to the Planning and Zoning Board acting as the local planning agency rather than treating the LPA as standalone entity. Remove or rewrite the duplicative language that implies 2 separate boards. This would place all planning authority under a single header, accurately reflecting existing practice and eliminate reoccurring confusion without altering governance or the city charter structure. I am raising this for clarity and long-term code hygiene, not to challenge current operations, and I'm happy to assist. This is all because you brought it up. Mr. Ludwig.
Am I speaking on this?
You may if you wish. This is not a repudiation. This is a result of me being unable to find residency requirements for planning and zoning. And then Jamie said, oh no, Mr. Ludwig said, based off of the LPA as read, we do have. And then I found we have 2 separate sections in our charter, and this email is to address that. We recognize it's 2, and we want to bring them together.
Sure. So
as a member of council.
Yes, yes. So I did not know that portion was going to be spoken about tonight. Rich can probably best speak about the specific processes to it. I can't speak to that. I do agree that in terms of it all being consolidated together, I personally would not be opposed to that. Like I said, I can't speak to the process. I do agree that I think it's confusing, the fact that it's separate. That was probably done quite some time ago, and I think that's why it was done the way that it was. I don't think it was done of bad intent at that time, but I would definitely say that I do think that probably would be more beneficial, of course, to keep it all consolidated together so you understand how that process works.
I believe what had happened originally, Florida State said every community needs its LPA, and then years went by, and then they decided to change at the state level the LPA designation to Planning and Zoning Board or Commission or whatever, and then our city's been, okay, we'll do that. And they didn't stop to think, wait a minute, we already have something in writing, so they could just line out and then reapply.
Sure. Like I said, I can't speak further to it. I personally, I understand, because, as you're looking for people to apply for these positions, you want to make sure that they meet those qualifications. And if you're not sure what the qualifications are and you have to spend a bunch of time searching, it doesn't make your job easier, and it doesn't make the city manager's job easier either, frankly. So,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. Like I said, I think the next step would be, I'm not sure if the attorney is
He's on the phone here, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask him.
The attorney can probably speak better to that process. It would not be me. So I will defer to the attorney, Rich Commando.
We are definitely going to defer to Mr. Commando's advice and counsel, definitely. The proposal is that we combine the 2 as stated under point number 6. I did send this email off to Mr. Booth on the 21st of January of this year. So this email in its entirety is within the city hands. for your review. Yes.
Mr.
Yeah, how are we
Commander, were
gonna
you
do
able
this?
to hear his question?
So I'm sorry, so it's kind of, like, I guess the speaker just picks up every other or every third word.
Oh,
If you don't mind, if
I went
you
too
can
fast.
repeat the question, I'll do my best to answer it.
hand this to him so he can repeat it if you don't mind. Thank you.
Evening, Mr. Commando. I'm very sorry, I probably spoke too fast.
No, actually, I think you're not going to, but for some reason the speaker on the phone just only picks up certain words.
Okay, so I have it, so there is an email sent, Mr. Booth has it. Obviously you're gonna wanna read this. I am proposing in this is that this isn't a charter issue, that we combine the land planning agency verbiage and roll it up into the planning and zoning board verbiage, for a clean, basically a clean code hygiene. We retain section 15-22B as a designation clause. We consolidate or reorganize chapter 17 LPA sections under the planning and zoning board heading and consistently refer to the planning and zoning board acting as the LPA rather than treating the LPA as a standalone entity. And we remove or rewrite all duplicative language that implies a separate board. That is what I read off. If you need anything else, I'd be happy to answer those questions as we go along.
So I haven't looked at, I've looked at our code at that particular issue, but I do know that essentially our planning and zoning board serves in place of the LPA. Now, the LPA is just a term of art that the state has used. So like the state has their own land planning agency, which is Florida Commerce, or some people call it the Department of Commerce. So many other local governments call them different things. So you may hear it called ZBOA, the Zoning Board of Adjustment and Appeals, or PC, the Planning Commission, or you might call it, like you guys are, the Planning and Zoning Committee. So what you call it really doesn't affect anything as far as what your authority is and kind of what our charter and our ordinances outline as your authority and responsibilities.
Correct. And what I'm asking is that we consolidate both, because they're separated by chapters, and I'm asking that we consolidate both under one chapter, one heading for code hygiene and just continuity.
Okay, we can take a look at that.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead. So I guess I'm asking, can we entertain a motion to go ahead and vote on this till we can proceed with this, or what is the best course of action right now?
The best course of action is if you have that language and you want to do strike through and underline for what you think would be appropriate, and we'll bring it back to consideration, and the LPA would then either vote as an advisory to the city council as to whether or not they think it should move forward. And then at that point, the city council can take it up.
Okay, so what I heard you to say is we can go ahead and vote on this to be able to move it forward to the city for consideration, correct?
No, not correct.
Okay,
So
good.
you don't move it. So the first step would be, because you know what your kind of concept is,
Yeah.
if you go into meeting code and you highlight and then copy it and then paste it into a Word document and then turn on track changes and then make the additions or deletions where you think they need to be. And then we will bring that strike through underline version back to planning and zoning for consideration. Because there may be further amendments that would be added at that time, and then whatever that document is would be submitted to the city council for consideration.
Okay, so I got homework to do. Understood.
Okay?
Yep.
And if you have questions as you're working on it, you're welcome to give me a call.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. So there we have it. I got homework. I hate homework. I went through whole school without going through homework.
Somehow I believe that. I said somehow I believe that.
So the next item is proxy votes. It is I've been under advisement that we are not allowed to do proxy votes. So if one of us is not allowed to be, or cannot be here for whatever our standing is, if something happens, there's an emergency, we cannot say, hey man, can you vote this way for me? That is stricken in Florida state law, as I was advised by Mr. Commando. So therefore, as far as proxy votes, we cannot do that. If, however, there is a discussion item that one of you have that you want to bring before the city, it has to be a one-way communication. If, however, you feel that the city will not accurately interpret what you want to write, you can do a one-way submittal. I will be happy to stand up there and I will read it as written. There cannot be a back and forth on an item that we're going to vote for. There cannot be a back and forth on any discussion on any item on any agenda that we have. It is strictly a one-way message from A to B to the board. The city would prefer that you send the letter straight to Jamie or Bo or Wendy, and they can enter it into the minutes instead of going through somebody else. That is the official standing on the proxy vote on item number 11.
May I repeat what I just heard?
You may.
Okay, so you as the chairman of the board are the spokesman for the board
Yes, I am.
at the city council meetings. If we as members of the board have something we would like to present, we are welcome to send it to you and you will present it. There will be no
Yes.
back and forth between the two of us.
Correct.
Could we, though, discuss it in our meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
because
and
we're
there-
open, it's on
And there
video.
could be all sorts of back and forth.
Correct.
Thank you.
But if something happens, because life happens, I'm not going to get into what's going on with me, but I've seen Christine about 30 seconds all day, so I'm kind of not very happy. So life happens, and if things like that happen, and you cannot be here, but there's something burning on your heart that you want to say, you go ahead and shoot a text or an email. Please say this, and it has to be left right there. It can't go any further.
So, if I may continue this conversation, my vision of what you just described, was here at our meeting. If I'm not at our meeting, and I would like something to be brought up, as an example, not that it ever happens, but perhaps something in the last meeting's minutes, then I would send that to you and ask you. Or could I not send that to,
You can.
and maybe CC?
You can.
Would it
Hey,
be-
Wendy, can I
Yes,
answer that?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so you can send anything to each other, even if it's to just read off what the thoughts are, because when you look at the government in the Sunshine Act, that you are specifically prohibited from engaging in discussion. So even though you're just passing information along, that's why I think Jamie had said before, that's why traditionally if you have something that you want distributed to each of the other members, send it to us, and then we can make a copy and leave it for the people that are present for the meeting, and we can also ask that it be included as an attachment to the minutes. But when you start communicating with each other outside of a publicly noticed meeting, you really run the risk of engaging in a sunshine violation.
okay.
To answer your question more thoroughly.
Yes, actually, and that's a good point. Thank you, Richard.
So after a vote is taken on any item, we're going to pick on 200 Commercial Circle. That vote was already done. It's over with. That's been put to bed.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry. I use 200
Sorry, here.
Commercial Circle as
He wants you to talk.
a case in point, as an example. That is a vote that was already done and it was put to bed. We can discuss that specific item amongst ourselves because the vote was done, it is completely over with, it is a matter of public record, and there's no discussion that we can do will matter one way or the other. I refer to that very similar to what was used to me when I was a young man growing up in the naval nuclear work as a learning example. We did this, here we are, now let's learn from it. So as far as this, I just pulled out 200 Commercial Circle because that is very recent in our memories. We can discuss that particular item because we had already voted upon it and it's a done deal. Anything in the future, not that we have anything, we are not allowed to discuss that at all.
So I would say you're not allowed, so just because you voted on it, I think that's a common misconception.
Mm-hmm.
with the government and the Sunshine Act, that does not absolve you of a Sunshine Law violation. So you're not allowed to engage in discussion of something that could come before you. So hypothetically, there could be an amendment to an application, there could be a request for modification. Even if you're at the next meeting, there could be a motion for reconsideration. So it's because of those type of situations that the way the government, the Sunshine Act is written, it contemplates anything that could come before you. So that's why if you're going to have those discussions, you're able to have them in an open and publicly noticed meeting. But I wouldn't advise you to exchange any type of email, text message, document that would be considered discussion outside of that open meeting.
Correct, that is exactly what I just said. Thank you for reiterating it. Do you have any other questions, comments? Because I'm running out of items here and we're missing 2 key members.
Well, I think he's gonna be on the phone for the rest of our meeting. Rich, you're not coming, is he coming?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm still an hour away, so I
Yeah.
would get there by the time you were done anyway.
Yeah,
Are you available by phone?
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can stay on phone.
Thank you.
So this is done. So we're gonna go ahead and go to item number 12, and then we're gonna twiddle our thumbs. This is the time for planning and zoning board member comments. I got none. I've already talked, I've already done my 2,000 words a day. Welcome to member.
In this open forum, perhaps you can, as chair,
Yeah, that's okay.
perhaps you can share where we are in our process with Carolyn so that she has an idea of what we're doing. You do understand just from this back and forth with Rich that the Sunshine State Law is new to many of us, and it's very important that we adhere to it. It's different from being a civil servant or from being a state employee. It's very different. So I don't want to stop talking,
You're
but
fine.
I'd rather you pick up and share with Carolyn.
We literally just started our comprehensive plan review, and we did section LU 1.4.1, which has to do with the FLUME, which stands for Future Land Use Map. It's that brightly colored thing. This is the new one from the city. They've sent it to us with the streets highlighted, or I should say enumerated, so we know what we're talking about when people say Magnolia or Nightingale as 2 just examples, because I jumped out right in front of me. This was directly referenced in Land Use 1.4.1. We're still having a discussion with regards to how we're going to divide up the downtown district, whether we do 80-20, 30-70, or as I have proposed, that we just say whatever the state says is minimum. That was an email that I drafted and sent straight to Janice a few weeks ago. Because you are new, I will remind you that you are more than welcome to have any ideas or questions or comments, or if you want to go through the comp plan and say, I want to change it this way, you're more than welcome to send it to Ms. Fleet, any recommendations you may have. Because of what we just discussed with our sunshine laws, whatever recommendations you have, you can't share, you cannot even loop it in with us.
Unless we're in our meeting. If we're in
Now
our
you
meeting,
can.
right, exactly.
Which is why I said,
Right,
I said state minimum, whatever is written in the state minimum. It's gonna change probably this year anyway.
yeah, if you look at that, future land use map, and I'm not the planner, but I know that in the last meeting, the planner provided more than one example of, the land use map, and there were many different colors, and I found it kind of confusing. This is beautifully done, I think, in that which is residential is residential, that which is institutional is institutional, that which is industrial is light industrial is light industrial. Up for discussion still remains, and this is I would say a lively discussion is what to do with the downtown mixed use. Currently in the comprehensive plan, as I understand it, it's 50-50. So this mixed use is 50% residential and 50% commercial with the building use. And the planner is proposing 70-30, 70% business, 30% residential.
I think it's the other way around.
In downtown?
I think. Is it the other way around?
So as we stand right now, it's a requirement.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I want you to.
Yeah, so as we stand right now, it is a requirement. If you want to build a structure in our downtown corridor, it's a requirement to be 50% residential
Right.
and 50% commercial.
But the recommendation for Ms. Fleet, is it 30 residential or 30 commercial?
30 residential.
Thanks.
So I think ultimately what we're looking at is to loosen the restrictions. So one, we don't have the parking to be able to facilitate 50% residential downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's to loosen the restrictions. So if somebody wants to add on to a building, and we only have 2 pieces of property that are available, to be built on by Atlantic Logistics and by Gibson Guns. There's 2 vacant pieces of property. So that's essentially what we're talking about in that area, is to loosen the restrictions. So if somebody wants to add a building in between those areas, that they have the capabilities to do it. Because as of right now, you can't unless you have 50% residential.
So that's what's under discussion right now, Mr. Bell?
Yeah, can I?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Please do.
Just because I've heard it before. Again, I'm Mike Bell. I think there's 2 mixed use being proposed. So the downtown mixed use, there wasn't going to be a limit on. That was 0-0. It didn't matter. But the other mixed use, I believe, is where you were looking at the 30-70 or whatever that number is.
That is not to my understanding.
No,
My
what
understanding
other
was
mixed use?
downtown mixed
Yeah.
use was 30-70 split. And I had made my recommendation, Ms. Fleet is not here.
Okay.
That we just write our recommendation to whatever the state minimum is. That way then it's uniform across the board.
Well, and again, we can wait for her to get here, but there's a mixed use category, and then the
Correct.
downtown mixed use is a
Right.
new category.
Right.
Correct.
That wouldn't have that restriction of any,
The other
because
way
you're
around.
still gonna get into the same issue of existing, trying to do something new.
Correct.
They're not gonna be able to add 30% residential to do anything commercial.
Okay.
So I think that restriction wasn't on for the downtown, in my understanding.
See,
That I
now,
did not hear.
Okay.
I've not
now we heard a
that.
little different.
Okay,
The
well,
other way. And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, so we'll wait for Ms. Fleet.
Yeah,
But to my understanding, that's what we were trying to open it up for businesses to be able to open it up down there.
Yes.
The other mixed use, the other only
That's
land we have
right.
available for mixed
Right.
use was Fox Run.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
On the north side of town.
that's the orange mixed use.
Correct.
Yes.
Which was that 50-50? That's a question. Was that 50-50?
Well, I think that was still open for discussion, again, the way I understood
But
it.
we
That
had
one-
not come to any agreement on the downtown yet.
No, that's
No.
correct,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, thank
But
you.
I think it would have to stay almost
It's currently
zero, because
50-50.
you don't want to restrict it
Correct.
with the downtown, because there is no downtown mixed use right now.
Well, it is, my understanding is it is 50-50
Right now it's 50-50
by
mixed use.
the plan,
But
right now.
There isn't there is no downtown, that's a new category that's. being
Downtown is
introduced.
a
Right,
new
that is,
category,
you're
correct.
absolutely
Right.
right.
Okay,
You're
now under
absolutely right.
now we're gonna put a date here. The 2011 comp plan has a mixed use and it's like 80% of the city. And that's 50-50.
Correct.
And that is,
Understood.
and so we're gonna now, from here moving forward, we're gonna delineate. When we refer to the old plan, we're gonna say the 2011 plan.
That makes sense.
And what we are discussing for the downtown zoning, we're gonna say the new plan or the 2026 plan.
Right,
So that way then we,
Well, you're gonna have two
Won't get
mixed use
confused.
categories though. You're gonna
Yes.
right, and
the
that's
mixed
what you
use
were
and then the
saying.
downtown mixed use.
That's what you were
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, and they'll
Yes.
have totally different
this
requirements.
salmon color
Right.
here on the new flume, that's the new
Brand
downtown
new,
district
yes.
as
Right.
proposed.
Correct.
But that has not, we have not come to an agreement as to what that is.
Correct, and my understanding was, and again, we can let her speak to that, but my understanding was you don't wanna put the restrictions on that.
No,
That
no.
is gonna be whatever people come in with so that they have the flexibility to do what they want.
And that was why I proposed whatever the state minimum is. Because there is a minimum, there's a bottom floor somewhere.
No,
And if it's zero, it's zero.
It's
We'll go
whatever
with
you
that.
guys come up with for the, for that new category.
Well, we can, whatever we gotta do.
Yeah.
My opinion, whatever we gotta do.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you what I would like to do. I would like to do a very much a European boutique downtown thing where we can have outdoor seating, but that's gonna cost a little bit of money.
But again, if you add any residential percentage or commercial percentage, you're gonna have the same restriction, whether it's
Yes.
50-50 or 80-20.
Yes.
With the downtown mixed use.
Those are decisions I think that are made here, not in other conversations, right?
Yes.
Those are
It
made
would-
with discussion
Yes.
here,
When you
right?
create that new mixed use downtown,
When
whatever
it-
is in writing is what
Right.
it's gonna be.
Good.
You'll create that.
Thank
Yes.
you, yeah.
No, you're correct. So the way it works is we set the minimum, and when we get done with our body of work, we send it to the city, and they approve or not, and then we go back and forth, and we have something that everybody likes, or everyone dislikes equally.
So what Mr. Bell said is true, that
Mhm.
it is proposed that there
Yep.
be a new mixed use, a second mixed use.
Downtown mixed use.
Right.
Salmon color.
So we will have a mixed use and a downtown mixed use.
Correct.
So there will be two separate mixed
That's
use
what's
categories.
proposed.
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Right.
That's, yes, ma'am.
And I have no issues with this, and I'm very happy.
But-
To facilitate whatever we gotta do.
And unfortunately, like I said, you know, when people come in, they wanna do so, their hands are tied because of the way our stuff is written right now. So it kind of ties their hands, and anything we do to loosen restrictions because of Senate Bill 180 is where we're probably gonna have to go. Anything we do to tighten it, we're not gonna be able to.
So because of the upcoming bill, which has not been ratified
That's correct.
yet, that is why I made the proposal in writing that we
Follow the state.
that we just follow the state. Because, and it's two reasons. Number one, we don't know what they're gonna do in August.
Sure.
And we don't know what they're gonna do 4 years from today.
That's right.
And I would like our plan to be robust enough to be able to withstand whatever the state does.
Sure.
So that was the nature of my proposal.
Yes.
I'm very happy to say, no, you guys want something different, we'll do something different. I am happy. There's no skin in this game.
Instead of going far left and far right, you know, we'll try to make it, you know, beneficial for what makes sense for the city and
Do
what
we-
makes sense for the people who want to come here and do business.
Other
I
than
agree.
anecdotal data, do we have any financial basis that this assumption that it's impossible to meet the 50-50 downtown, do we have any data that lead us to that conclusion? Or is it just everybody has shrugged their shoulders and said it's impossible? Why are we saying it's impossible to maintain 50-50 downtown?
According to what your boss said, is we had a proposal, and he wanted to do X, Y, Z, and he couldn't because of the 50-50 split.
So there was one
So,
person
yeah, an
who was,
experiential example, yes.
right,
So we had a business owner that wanted to expand on their current business and they could not because of the 50-50.
they
split.
were unable to put an apartment and rent it out upstairs above the bar or whatever
That, whether they're willing to or not, that I don't know.
Okay.
But they weren't willing to realize that future expansion because of the 50-50 split.
okay.
So they left it where it was, so.
Quite personally, I'd be very happy to allow that guy to do what he wants to do.
And that's up to you guys, so. I would almost recommend, Janice, maybe you're in like.
I'm getting ready to say,
5
well, we
minutes,
go on a
let's
break,
Take a 5-minute
get
break.
some water and do your body.
You know, it's the one time I haven't brought water.
I don't mean to.
I have cups in the water cooler in there. I
Thank
can
you.
more than
So,
happy.
we're gonna go ahead and adjourn until, our additional members show up.
I'm gonna turn everything off.
Thank you, sir.
Wendy?
Rich,